This story has been taken from Umar Ibn Al-Khattab, His Life and Times by Ali Muhammad Salabi, and has been reviewed for authenticity by Luqmay Sharia Advisory Board. Chapter 1. The Troublemakers. The Banu Adi neighborhood was quiet and calm. Crows cawed, camels bleated, hawkers called out in the streets with their merchandise, and people went about their daily chores. Suddenly, the door of one of the mud houses banged open, and the calm air was drowned by waves of screams and angry voices. People peeped out of their doors and windows. They saw a tall, broad-shouldered man in his late 20s with the muscles of a wrestler whipping a woman dressed in ragged clothes.
Huh, it's Umar. Why is he beating the slave?
One of the onlookers wondered aloud.
Guess he's just roughening her up like his father used to roughen him.
That woman's become a heathen. She deserves the beating, a man with a muddy turban informed them. Umar's quite upset. More and more people have started following Muhammad. The quarry shall lose its unity and repute if this continues. Umar was a leader of his small clan, the Banu Adi, a tradesman and an ambassador of the Quraysh. He used to judge between the people in their disputes and was one of the few people in Mecca who knew how to read and write. Lately, a nobleman, Muhammad, had started preaching a new religion, Islam. He was telling people to worship one God, Allah, and leave their idols. Umar took great pride in his tribe and its customs and was deeply offended by Muhammad's teachings. When he found out that a slave woman belonging to his tribe had accepted Islam, he decided to teach her a lesson.
Ah!
The poor woman was badly bruised. Umar told her to give up her new belief, but she kept on refusing. Umar abruptly stopped and dropped the whip. "I'm sorry," he said mockingly. "I'm not stopping because I pity you. I'm too bored and tired of this." Fortunately, Abu Bakr, a fellow believer, came to know about the poor slave woman. He bought her from her cruel masters and freed her. But Umar's rage saw no end. He continued to torment the weak Muslims until one day he saw some relatives leaving Mecca. They were being bullied for accepting Islam and could no longer live there. And that broke his heart, leaving a tiny opening for light to enter. Chapter 2. A Ray of Hope. Umar Abdullah packed her clothes with a heavy heart. Mecca was her home, but she was no longer welcome in it. The people of her tribe were tormenting her family and causing trouble in every way they could, only because she and her husband had recognized the truth brought by Muhammad and accepted it. The Quraysh were forcing them to leave Islam, but how could they give up what they loved most? They could leave their home, their city, and the people in it, but never their faith. Allah had given them permission to make hijrah and move to some place where they could practice their religion freely. And so, Abdullah was making preparations to go away when somebody came by. It was Umar. "You going somewhere?" he asked. "Yes, we are," she replied firmly. "You've been cruel to us and oppressed us, and now we're going out in the land of Allah until Allah grants us a way out." Umar was shocked. These people were going away just for the sake of their religion. He wondered what made it so special. Umar felt the sadness in Abdullah's eyes, and guilt climbed up in his heart. It was him and others like him who were driving them out of their beloved town. But he'd only wanted good for his people. He wanted them to stay true to the beliefs of their fathers and forefathers. Was he wrong? "May Allah be with you," Umar said softly and left. Abdullah was surprised. She was expecting a different response. A few moments later, when her husband Amir returned from an errand, she told him about what had happened. "Are you hoping Umar will become a Muslim?" he laughed. "Yes," she replied. "Impossible! Khattab's donkey will become Muslim before he does." Abdullah and her husband soon left for Abyssinia, along with some other Muslims. The Quraysh were furious when they found out. They called a quick meeting to discuss what to do. "How humiliating! These runaways are ruining our reputation." "I wish someone could kill Muhammad. He's the one behind this." "But who'll kill him? He's got his uncle's back." "I will," Umar volunteered. The whole affair was making him frustrated and depressed. And he had come to a conclusion. It was one man, Muhammad. He was the source of all this trouble. Muhammad had divided his people and brought a bad name to the tribe. Umar would kill him once and for all, and he didn't care about the consequences. Oh, how he hated Muhammad. "Yes, you're the man for it, Umar. You can do it." The others encouraged him. They knew Umar. His courage, his determination, and his strength. Chapter 3. Out to Kill. Umar marched towards the hill of Safa. He had heard that Muhammad was in the house of Arqam with his companions, and that is where he was headed. The scorching heat of the midday sun did nothing to calm his boiling blood. A fine, sharp-edged sword was dangling on his side. Nuaym, a man from Quraysh who'd secretly become a Muslim, came across Umar. He glanced at the sword, at Umar's pursed lips and the rigid lines of his face, and knew something was wrong. "Where are you going, Umar?" Nuaym asked. "I'm looking for this heretic who's divided Quraysh, insulted our intelligence, criticized our religion, and slandered our gods. I'm going to kill him," Umar replied angrily. "Are you in your right mind? You're fooling yourself. You've become reckless," explained Nuaym. He wanted to stop Umar from reaching Muhammad. "You're going to be the cause of Banu Adi's doom. Do you think Muhammad's family will leave you walking on the face of the earth after you kill Muhammad?" The two began to argue. Their voices grew louder and louder. "I think you've also changed your religion. I'll start with you if that's true," Umar shouted. "Huh! Go check your own family first. Did you know they've accepted Islam? They no longer follow you and your ignorance." Umar couldn't believe it. Blood pounded in his ears. "Which of them?" he asked through clenched teeth. "Your sister, her husband, and your cousin." Umar's sister, Fatima, and her husband, Saeed, were reciting the beautiful verses of the Quran from a piece of parchment. A Muslim brother, Habab, was with them when Umar banged loudly at the door. "Who is it?" they asked. "The son of Khattab." Habab rushed to find a hiding place. He didn't want to be seen by Umar over here. Fatima put the parchment behind her back as Umar entered. "What was that muttering and whispering I heard from your house?" he asked. "We were just talking." "And perhaps you've changed your religion?" he asked. "Umar, what if the truth were in something other than your religion?" replied Saeed. Umar's fears were confirmed. His own family had betrayed him. He pulled Saeed's beard, and the two began to wrestle, but Saeed was no match for Umar. Umar slammed him on the ground and climbed onto his chest. Fatima stepped in between them, trying to defend her husband, but Umar shoved her away, hitting her hard on the face. Scarlet blood glistened on Fatima's face. "You enemy of Allah! You're hitting me just because I believe in Allah alone!" she cried. Yes, said Umar furiously. Then do what you like. I bear witness there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger. We have become Muslim whether you like it or not. Fatima's defiant eyes and her blood-streaked face made something move in Umar's heart. He felt sorry for what he'd done. Slowly, he got off Saeed and sat down. Show me this parchment that you have. Umar pointed the parchment with Quranic verses on it, clutched in Fatima's hands. I won't. Fatima was afraid Umar was going to tear it apart. Could she trust her brother? Hey kids, to listen to the rest of the story, subscribe at www.luqmay.com for $10 per month and unlock more videos of this story and much more. Link given in the description below.